Abandon your post! Flee! Flee for your life! Prepare for battle!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk about a more serious topic regarding WARNO and the community and so on. If you guys don't know who the Strike Team was or is, these guys are the testers for all the games, but all the patches, everything that's coming out, new content. Some of them are YouTubers, some of them are, some of them are actual just testers, some of them are like historical buffs to give information to Eugen about, what a unit should be performing like and so on. And this video doesn't just pertain to the Strike Team, but also a lot of content creators, a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers, and also just general really active members of, the Eugen community and so on. I'm really going to be addressing all the doom and gloom that people keep bringing up. This is like a problem across the board, at least in my experience. A lot of people are just saying how WARNO is in a terrible state, garbage gameplay, inferior to Wargame Red Dragon, extreme imbalances, and so on. And don't get me wrong, some of the criticism can be legit, totally is straight up. There have been times when WARNO is extremely imbalanced. There have been times when the game has been in states worse than, Wargame Red Dragon on its launch. But again, like a lot of it has been overblown. I think one critical example, key example, is RANGROO. He posted a video talking about why he got kicked off the Strike Team, his issues with the game, the issues with the balance. I get it. There's some things, people don't like, and that's fine. Everyone has their differences. But some of his criticisms I thought were, and a lot of people agree with, are like, one of his criticisms he went on about was that some of the user base on the ranked leaderboard or tournament players, they're nobodies. They don't know anybody, and that proves the game isn't as good because people aren't like, I don't know, recognizable. But even that doesn't make any sense. Like Pro Kamiyat, right? He's one of the top players in ranked, really good guy, really good player. He just went to the championship for Wargame Red Dragon just like a couple months ago, right? Like this guy is, and a lot of the ST2 players, I'm an ST2 player as well. A whole bunch of other guys I know were ST2 players who were on top of the leaderboard, right? And a lot of guys from Wargame Red Dragon are I see on the top of the leaderboard. Another thing RANGROO goes into is talking about how there isn't some type of transition from ST2 players or Wargame Red Dragon players into WARNO. He makes the excuse that like ST2, for example, is a World War II game. People are not going to be into it. Maybe a Cold War game. They're into World War II, so they'll stay over in ST2. But I mean, that's also not true. I mean, like almost all of my friends have merged over from ST2 into WARNO. Many of the top players from ST2 player have merged over to WARNO. Most of the guys I recognize. And then for Wargame Red Dragon, he makes two, I mean, it makes sense that they're not going to move over. They are different games. They are a similar game type, but they are different. If you're a guy who's played 10 plus years of Wargame Red Dragon, and you're not into WARNO as much, you're just going to stay over to Wargame Red Dragon. You already love it. You already play it. You already know it. There's no reason to transfer over. They are still different. They're not the same. And then he talks about the skill gap between, he says like, oh, the competitive scene was far greater in Wargame Red Dragon. The player base is a lot better in Wargame Red Dragon. Well, I'd hope so, right? Like Wargame Red Dragon has been out for 10 freaking years or more now. It's almost more years now. Maybe this video is later down the road. It's even more. They better be better because everyone in WARNO is still learning. They're new. The game is fresh. A lot of the guys are coming over. The game's only been out officially fully now for, not too long period, not years. And then, in the early access, the gameplay is completely different. So it's not even recognizable. So you could be good in the early access, but now the game in the state now on release is totally different. But Wargame Red Dragon hasn't changed in like 8-10 years. You better be good if you have 10,000 hours in the game. I mean, like even the top players right now in WARNO, some of them only have 800 hours. I know barely 1,000, right? Nowhere near what like a Wargame Red Dragon player is. One more thing I'm going to say about RANGROO in his video, and also just about a whole bunch of other people who, make very clear they didn't like Steel Division 2. They didn't like the direction Eugen was going, didn't like WARNO and the direction WARNO took compared to Wargame Red Dragon. I'll just say this, like, if you're in a negative state about anything and you're looking for problems, you will find problems. It's just like human nature. If you say like, I hate this game, it has XXX and issues, that's all you're going to look for is find those issues. You're going to look for them. You're going to find them. There's always going to be problems. You're always going to find them, especially if you look, if you look hard enough. And you know, I gotta say too, it's like he's criticizing some of the balance and the map things and so on. Like, I get it. I agree. There are some criticisms to be made there, but the degree in which I think a lot of these guys take it is far too great. Like, maps aren't perfect. Of course, no map's going to be perfect, right? Like, you know, even some of the best maps, even the most favorite maps in Wargamer and Drag and Steel Division 2 or any video game, people criticize them and say, well, it could be this or do that, it could be that. It's never going to be perfect. And I think like this mentality of looking for problems, you're going to find problems. That's how it's going to always be. And you're not going to look at any of the positive aspects, especially if you dislike it already. You dislike Warno, you dislike games like this. You're just going to find the negatives in it. And it's just going to overblow all the positives too. And also blind you to some problems, right? Like healer rushing, right? Used to be a problem. Not anymore. I don't hardly see healer rushes as any issue in any of the games anymore in Warno. That's been like fixed for like nearly 7-8 months, right? They addressed it. It was a problem. They addressed it. They fixed it. And yet I see guys constantly bringing it up as a problem that's going on in the game, much like, you know, I think you're just like looking for things to find of issues when they don't exist anymore. But I see all this criticism just being thrown just to be thrown. It seems to be like something to jump on, to crit shit on Eugen, shit on the strike team, shit on some of the testers. And I honestly, you know, I think it's actually a real problem. Like the game, at least to my estimation, is in a pretty good state. Obviously there's things that need to be worked out, improved. People keep jumping the gun. I see like a dev blog get posted about, oh, they're going to add a 4th weapon slot, or we're seeing like rumors about, or like a dev vlog about the new divisions and what they're going to be like, what they have in them. And everyone's like, oh, this division's going to be trash and terrible. This division is going to be OP and you know, pay to win scheme. And people just jump the gun before like content's even been released. I remember like 101st Airborne gets a dev blog post. Everyone's like, this is going to be a pay to win division. Everyone's just going to be OP healer rushing. This division is going to be the most nasty thing. And then when it comes out, it's mediocre, right? It's okay. It's like, it's good division, but it's not OP. It's in a good spot. And then like 56, everyone's like, 56 is going to be a garbage division. Terrible. Garbage. And then it comes out and it's pretty good, actually. It's in a good state as well. And people just keep jumping the gun. Another thing too is the strike team. The strike team constantly is getting a lot of heat for people. I've been in the past a criticism of the strike team back in the SC2 days. But as you get to know the strike team and you get to know the other members, they're getting a lot of heat for things that really are not in their control. Especially like people like Derek. I know Derek was brought on, I guess, my understanding, you know, he was brought on and do testing for Eugen and helping the game balance, but people like throw shade at him about things when like really it isn't his call. Or they're even worse, right? He'll make a recommendation to Eugen. I bet this happens all the time. And this happens at work as well. You make a recommendation and they only do part of it, and only part of it is actually really bad compared to doing it fully. And people will just throw the shade. They don't even know whether it's his decision on some decisions, and they just throw shade at the guy. And this is not just to him, it's also to the other strike team members. And I get it, you know, there are definitely some criticisms towards the strike team, right? Like it's known as like the boys club and so on. And being the boys club does have its drawbacks, right? It's you probably have a little bit of an echo chamber with friend groups and so on. But anyway, my main point about making this video was like, in general, people just need to like take a step back. You know, this is a video game in the end of the day. We're playing it for fun. You may not like it, right? But you know, it's if you don't like it, that's fine. Like there's games that are great games out there that personally I don't like. It's not my enjoyment. And there's games that are terrible that people don't really like, and I like it. But that's each to their own. But there is a problem of like, I just see people constantly in the forums, constantly making content, constantly doing everything, just complaining about everything and arguing and like putting people down. Like the whole point, I guess, I think of like having a community or gaming community, right, is like to get more people to join, and having all this toxic behavior and so on is, you know, not great. It doesn't really help, right? Like, and I think I would say this, Warno by far is doing a superior job compared to, well, Wargame Red Dragon. Like you just look at the Steam forums to this day on Wargame Red Dragon, and it is hilarious. I'll post some screenshots. It's just so much fun to look at it every once in a while. You're like, this isn't even cropped, this image, right? This is just like straight up the second page of the forums. All of these are all in order of people being banned for like anti, you know, just, you know, bad stuff. And there is a problem with the strike team as well, where I've noticed at least, where a lot of strike team members are constantly like shitting on each other, shitting on the game, telling how bad everything is, and all doom and gloom. It's not everyone, obviously. I don't think it's a majority. This is a small minority, and I don't know what it is about that. Like some of these guys, I'll never understand. Right? They have thousands of hours in this game. They must love it. Like, I don't know why you continue to put thousands of hours into a game if you don't love it. And you know, if you don't love it, you know, I think maybe those people should probably just like get out of here, because like all they're doing is bringing like negativity, complaining, whining, and you'll just type in like, go on the Eugen server. I'm not going to say names, but you just go on the Eugen server and you can just see people complaining, whining, and from the strike team about a whole bunch of different things that they're not getting or not wanting, or they're disagreeing with somebody or shitting on people. And I get too, it's not just them, right? They're getting a lot of heat from a lot of random people about a lot of things they don't know what they're talking about, and it probably makes an automatic defensive mechanism for them where like they immediately lash out against people because, you know, they're constantly being criticized and attacked. It's kind of like a snowball effect. And like, I think the community also lashes back at them because they're in that state, and it just like rolls and rolls and rolls. Anyway, I just think that people need to like take a step back. It's a video game. Don't judge, or like, unless you know for a fact about something, like it's a problem in anywhere in life. People just need to take a step back, let things settle, let things come out, figure out how it works. And like the new thing coming out, you see all the drama around the metas. People are bitching, complaining about how the metas teams and ATGM teams are all going to be nerfed. It's going to destroy all these divisions. Like, people said there's a whole bunch of things, you know, same exact things about a whole bunch of other patches, other things. Like, it could break it. We don't know. Like, let it happen, see how it works, instead of like jumping the gun and saying this is going to ruin everything. I just think that people need to slow down, let it relax. And anyway, that's all I have to say, guys. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys think about all this. I think people just need to relax, but maybe I'm wrong. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching.